Welcome to the Evolve with EdTech podcast. In this podcast, we share tips, tricks, and tools to help you incorporate new and engaging educational technology into your classroom to help you evolve the creativity, communication, and technological abilities of your students, colleagues, and school community. So sit back and welcome your host and Evolve EdTech creator, Tristan Heron.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of the Evolve with EdTech podcast. If we haven't met before, I'm your host, Tristan Heron, and I'm also the creator of Evolve EdTech. In today's episode, we're going to dive into the versatile tool known as Padlet. In this episode, we'll explore 15 exciting ways that you can use Padlet in your classroom for collaboration, and we'll provide you with some specific examples for each of these ideas. So let's get this episode started with episode 3 of the Evolve with EdTech podcast. Before we get into episode 3, I just want to take a moment to make sure that everybody out here in podcast world understands what Padlet is. So Padlet is an online virtual bulletin board that allows users to create and share multimedia content in a collaborative space. Now, I've used Padlet before in the past, and I think it's a fantastic tool. It's an excellent tool for fostering engagement, creativity, and collaboration amongst students, but also amongst your colleagues and your peers. So today we're going to have a look at 15 ways that we can use Padlet in the classroom to foster this idea of collaboration. So let's explore the first way that we could use Padlet in the classroom. Our first way that we could use Padlet is for icebreaker introductions. So at the start of your school year, wherever you are based around the world, whether it is in September or whether it's late January, early February like it is over here in Australia, you could use Padlet to create a Padlet board where each student can introduce themselves with a short video or written post. Here we can encourage our students to include their hobbies, interests, and goals for the year. This activity will help you build a sense of community within your class and allow your students to get to know each other. It's a little bit different from that, two truths and a lie, or maybe we're going to do that sheet, that activity on paper that we always do. Why not engage them with some technology and introduce them to a Padlet board? What a fantastic way for an icebreaker introduction at the start of your school year, at the start of a new term, semester, whenever you've got students who might be coming into your class or subject area. What a great idea. Let's move on to idea number 2, reflection walls. So when we complete projects or units, we often move on. We don't really get our students to think about and reflect on their learning experiences. But with Padlet, this is something that you can actively do with your students. Here, with a Padlet reflection wall, our students can share what they found challenging, what they enjoyed, what they've learned, okay? We can encourage our students to provide specific examples and support their reflections with images or videos. This is a really great way for us as educators to also seek a little bit of informal feedback, because those areas that our students found challenging, there might be a number of students who found that challenging, or maybe they did enjoy a particular topic or a particular way of teaching a piece of content that might be something that you work on in the future. So using these Padlet reflection walls is a great way for our students to reflect on themselves, but also to provide some feedback to us as educators and teachers to help us with our teaching and learning moving forward. So let's move on to idea number 3, which is mind mapping, a really great tool that we can use with all students from kindergarten right up until year 12, even as we move into our university or college systems. Mind mapping is a really great essential skill that can help us deliver our ideas. So we can engage our students in mind mapping and organizing their ideas by using Padlet's layout customization options. There are so many ways that you can customize Padlet to create what you would like to. So you could create a Padlet board for a specific topic or subjects and have students contribute their ideas and connections visually. Here they can add text, images, and they can even embed videos to represent their ideas. So maybe you're exploring a concept in geography, business studies, in social sciences, in English, in maths, whatever you're teaching your students, you might use a Padlet board to mind map their ideas. Really great way for a brain dump at the beginning of a topic or a unit, as well as also seeing what students have learnt at the end. So using Padlet for mind mapping is another really great way to get our students engaged and get our students sharing their ideas through the power of Padlet. Let's move on to idea number 4, collaborative storytelling. So here we might be able to spark our students' creativity and collaboration by initiating a Padlet story chain. So we might begin with an opening sentence or a paragraph that is devised by the teacher, and we're going to place that on our Padlet board. Each of our students in our class is going to add their contribution to continue the story. We would encourage them to build on each other's ideas and create a coherent narrative together. From this, we could probably take all of our ideas, pop them together, and then obviously use our editing skills to come up with a story that's going to make sense, that follows the narrative structure, and is going to be really engaging for our readers. We might then publish that in some form. We might use a podcast to get our students to record it. We might share it with our families as part of portfolios. We might share it at parent-teacher conferences, on websites, student pages, etc. So collaborative storytelling is another really simple activity that you can complete through Padlet. All right, idea number 5, digital portfolios. Now, this is something that we have talked about before with Google Slides, but did you know that you could use Padlet as a digital portfolio tool? Here, each student can create their own board. They can showcase their best work and document their progress throughout the year. Again, our students can include a range of text, videos, images. They can include work samples. All right. They can add projects, reflections, goals, etc., 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 to their digital portfolio to be able to share what they have learned throughout the year. A really great way to document progress in a different means and a different format to the traditional Google Slides or Google Sites or some other format that we might use for digital portfolios. So there we've already had 5 fantastic ways that we could use Padlet to foster collaboration in the classroom. So sometimes the collaboration might be with other students, sometimes the collaboration might be between the student and teacher, but there's a really great range of ideas already in those 5 as to how we could use Padlet and incorporate that into our classroom today. So just stop for a moment and picture this. You're a teacher striving to create engaging and visually appealing resources for your students. It's something that we're always doing and we're always aiming to do, but you're time poor. Well, guess what? Evolve EdTech has you covered. That's right, we have your back here at Evolve EdTech. We've partnered with Canva to provide you with an extensive collection of editable templates. That's right, editable templates. We're not just going in there and saying you have to use our template, you can't change it. These are 100% customizable for your specific needs. But here's the best part, okay? It only takes a few clicks to personalize these. Okay, if you've got a specific teaching style or lesson objective, you want to change your colors, your text, you want to add graphics, you can do all of this at your fingertips with these specially designed templates just for educators like you. But wait, there's more. These templates aren't only limited to digital use. You can also easily print them off and create captivating classroom displays, okay, worksheets that will bring your lessons to life. That's right. They are not only digital, you can also print them off. So I can hear you saying, Tristan, how do I access these incredible resources? Well, I have an answer for you, which is very lucky because I hope I do. Simply head over to the Evolve EdTech website and navigate to their digital template section. So you're just going to navigate to our digital template section. From there, you can see our wide range of categories and find the perfect template for your needs. Our template collections are growing and they will continue to grow, but go and have a look and see if you can find a template that is just what you need. And remember, it's 100% customizable so that you can meet your specific needs for your students in your classroom. So head over to the Evolve EdTech website and navigate to the digital templates section and start exploring our digital templates today. Welcome back. So far in today's episode, we've looked at 5 ways that we could use Padlet for collaboration in the classroom. Let's go and have a look at another 5 ways that we could use this amazing tool, Padlet, in our classroom. So let's begin with idea number 6, exit tickets. So at the end of a class, a lesson, a topic, a module, a semester, you could create a Padlet board for your students to share their thoughts, questions, or feedback. Our students can share post a short reflection or respond to a specific prompt. This activity provides valuable insight into their understanding and allows for quick, formative assessment. I've also seen Padlet used successfully as an exit ticket for teachers as part of a professional learning, a book club, even something like a staff meeting. Okay, I've seen exit tickets used successfully for both students and teachers. So it's a really valuable tool if you want to break up that traditional meeting or learning session with your colleagues by using some ed tech there as well. Let's move on to idea number 7, which are virtual book clubs. So sometimes we might find it hard to get our students to engage with reading and also share their love of reading with others. So with virtual book clubs, we can foster that reading comprehension and collaboration by setting up a Padlet board for a virtual book club. Here, our students can share their favorite quotes, they could ask questions and discuss their thoughts on a book, on a genre, on a topic, okay, on a series, etc. We can encourage our students to respond to each other's posts and engage in meaningful conversations. This is a really great way that I could see could be utilized in a wide reading type unit, or getting our students to look at a textbook or a concept or an article or something like that, moving it away from just a book club. How can we get our students to look at key ideas, ask questions, discuss their thoughts on a topic or a reading, and then go and respond to each other's posts? A really great way to use EdTech and get our students involved in their learning. So let's move on to idea number 8, which is peer feedback, which I think links in beautifully to the virtual book clubs that we've just talked about. So we could promote peer-to-peer learning and constructive feedback by having students share their work on a Padlet board. We could ask them, our students, to provide feedback to their classmates by commenting on each other's posts. This not only encourages collaboration, but it also enhances our critical thinking and communication skills. Obviously, this might require a little bit of pre learning for our students to teach them how to provide constructive feedback that is going to be helpful in their peers moving forward and isn't going to be hurtful feedback. So it's going to take a little bit of time to do that, but also providing our students with the opportunity to hear from their peers is such a rewarding experience. Being able to go, okay, yes, maybe my teacher has said the same thing to me, and now my peers are saying that I need to do this to my work. This is something that I probably should have. I don't, maybe I didn't think this was something I needed to work on, but now that my teacher and some of my peers have identified this, it is something that I will continue to work on to improve this, that, whatever they're doing. So peer feedback and using a Padlet board for peer feedback, another fantastic way to encourage collaboration. Well, so far we've shared some really great ways to use Padlet with you. But here's another idea. Here's idea number 9, a gallery walk. So create a Padlet board for a gallery walk activity. This is where our students can post their project or artwork, and their classmates can browse through the different posts and leave comments. This activity allows for appreciation, feedback, and inspiration among students. This is a great way for our students to share their learning, to go and have a look at other students' work. I can see this in art. I can see this in technology subjects. I can see this in various computer language, all different places that we could use this. I could see students popping up some of their creative writing or their reports or something like that, and getting everybody to go and have a look and read them and see what they've done and gain inspiration. It's something that this is something that I love, especially as a teacher, is looking at other people's activities, gaining inspiration from various social medias, from various other ed tech coaches out there, seeing what I could implement into my classroom. So creating this concept of a gallery walk where our students can go and browse different posts and leave feedback is a fantastic way to build that collaboration within our students and also ourselves as educators. So head over to idea number 10, which is vocabulary expansion. So building vocabulary skills is really important, and we can do that by creating a Padlet board for word exploration. Here we can assign each student with a specific word where they can post definitions, synonyms, antonyms, and examples of usage. We can encourage our students to collaborate and create a comprehensive vocabulary resource together. I could see this would be fantastic for the start of a new unit. I'm just about to start a unit with my Year 8 class looking at heroes and the hero's journey. This would be a fantastic activity to use in that particular group so that we can start to look at synonyms, antonyms, examples, look at the vocabulary that we could use when we are describing heroes and the hero's journey. I can see it in sciences, languages, maths, humanities. I can see this all across the board. I could see this being used from younger kids all the way up to more older and capable kids. Our younger students might require a teacher assistance to create this, and they might be responsible for the board. But I can see a vocabulary board creating those skills, developing those word banks to be a really fantastic collaborative activity that your students could complete together to create a really amazing resource bank that everybody could use in the classroom. All right, each episode we are going to share with you a Chrome extension which you can use to enhance your Chrome web browser as well as make your engagement and productivity even far superior with your students. This week, our Chrome extension of the week is Mote. If you've never heard of Mote before, it is a voice note extension that allows you to provide feedback to students using your voice. It saves time compared to traditional typing and adds a personal touch to the feedback, making it an excellent tool for communication and engagement. So, if you're interested in checking out this amazing tool, make sure you head over to the Chrome Web Store today to access the usefulness of Mote when it comes to leaving this feedback with our students through the power of our voice. So head over to the Chrome Web Store today and check out the Mote extension for Google Chrome. Well, we've covered 10 ways that we could use Padlet in the classroom for collaboration, and we've got 5 more awesome ideas to go for you today. So let's head straight into idea number 11, global connections. So, with global connections, we can foster cultural understanding and global connections by initiating a Padlet exchange with students from another country. This is a great way to see what we're doing and learning with other people throughout the world. Here, each student can post about their daily lives, traditions, they can ask questions to learn about each other's cultures, etc. This activity promotes empathy, curiosity, and cross cultural communication. It's a fantastic way to expand our students' knowledge of the world, but also make a little bit of a connection with students from another school, another destination, building up that cultural understanding from all over the world because Our learning, our education, our environment are so different. What a simple way to be able to do this without having to leave your school, staying safe, etc. Well, we've got 4 ideas left in this episode, so we better move on to idea number 12, which are group projects. So, facilitating collaboration in group projects can be achieved by providing with our groups a Padlet board. Here, our students can use it to brainstorm ideas, they can assign tasks, they can track progress, they can be made accountable for their participation within this group project. Our students can post updates, share resources, communicate with their teammates effectively, etc. As your classroom teacher, you're able to see your interactions with your students, see their contributions, see what they're doing to contribute towards the completion of this group project. So using Padlet for group projects is a really great way for our students to track what they're doing, to brainstorm, to keep, to keep going, to make sure that they're able to achieve their end goal, their end product, etc. Idea number 13, data collection. So you might be able to think about using Padlet as a data collection tool during experiments or surveys. So you could create a Padlet board where students can input their observations, measurements, or even survey responses. This collaborative approach will help our students analyze data collectively, but also draw meaningful conclusions. So we'll have all of that information in one space, and as a class, as a collective, as a group, you'd be able to analyze the data as well as come up with meaningful conclusions. It could also be really useful for teachers, especially as a way of checking students' understanding when it comes to their learning. So, lots of ways that you could use Padlet for data collection. Well, we are getting a little bit closer to the end, but we've still got idea 14 to go before we get to that point. So, idea number 14, question and answer boards. So, we could encourage our students to ask questions and support each other's learning by creating a Padlet board specifically for question and answers. So, this is where the students can post questions that they have about a topic or subjects, and their peers can respond with answers, explanations, or traditional resources or additional resources. One way that I see this working is the idea of ask 3 other students before you ask me. So maybe the students have to post their question or concern or, what they need more information on this Padlet board. 3 students have to respond before they seek information or they go and actually clarify it from the teacher, because most of the time their peers, our students' peers, are able to provide the same ideas, the same information that we would be able to reply to and provide to our students. This saves us from having to necessarily go in there and say the same thing 500 times, like it feels like we do sometimes. And our students are able to support and guide each other with answers, explanations, and additional resources. So think about setting up a Padlet board for Q&A to help our students have a little bit of self-regulation and to be able to support each other with their learning in the classroom. Well, our final idea now for collaboration with Padlet in the classroom is virtual field trips or excursions. So you could take your students on virtual field trips using Padlet. Here, you can create a Padlet board with links, images, and videos to a specific destination or a specific topic. A really great way for your students to be able to explore and engage with their content, share their thoughts, and ask questions to deepen their understanding. If it's a bit like me, here in Australia at the moment, we have a staff shortage when it comes to teachers, and things like excursions and field trips are starting to be put on the back burner. We can't do it because we can't cover staff within our school environments. We can't take our students out into the world, which is a shame. But the next best thing is maybe we are creating a virtual field trip, a virtual excursion. We have so many wonderful resources. We've got Google Maps, Google Earth. We've got lots of YouTube videos. We've got images. We've got so many ways that we can create a virtual field trip. I know it's not exactly the same and it's not as exciting as going out into the world, But at this particular time in our globe and with our education systems, this might be a really great alternative to keep those students engaged, to get them looking at their topic, going on these field trips, doing these site studies, going on these excursions in some form or in some way or another. So have a think about how you could use Padlet to create a virtual field trip or excursion today. And there you have it, 15 creative ways that you could use Padlet for collaboration in the classroom with specific activities for each idea today. How cool is that? So just remember that Padlet is a versatile tool that can be adapted to fit with various subjects, grade levels, and teaching styles. So don't be afraid to experiment and find out what works best for you and your students. I'm not saying that you have to necessarily go and use Padlet all the time, but go and have a try, play around with it, and see what you can do. Well, that is all for today's episode of the Evolve with EdTech podcast. We hope that you have found these Padlet ideas inspiring and practical for your classroom learning environment. Let us know how you use Padlet in your classroom by connecting with us on Twitter. To follow Evolve EdTech on Twitter, just search for our handle Evolve EdTech AU. Don't forget that we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and we'd love it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Evolve with EdTech podcast. Until next time, don't forget to stay safe and make sure that you keep innovating with EdTech in your classroom. My name is Tristan. I am the host of the Evolve with EdTech podcast, and we will catch you again in the next episode. Until then, see you later.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Evolve with EdTech podcast with your host, Tristan Herring. If you loved this episode, please rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to our podcast to help others find it. Once again, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you again in the next episode of the Evolve with EdTech podcast.